We're going to be doing a lesson on contractions today when we take two small words and squeeze them together to make a new word. So we're going to start off by watching a brain pop, and then we're going to work on a few together on the board.
Moby, didn't you read the sign? Please don't touch. That's a contraction. A contraction is a word formed by combining two or more words, leaving out sounds or letters. We use contractions all the time when we speak. They're faster and easier to say. How do you form a contraction? The word don't is a contraction for do not. First combine do not and take out the O. Then you add an apostrophe, which is a kind of punctuation mark. The apostrophe in a contraction tells you where the missing letters or sounds are. So do not becomes don't. You can do the same things to change could not to couldn't, is not to isn't, did not to didn't, and have not to haven't. But the contraction for will not doesn't follow the pattern. Its contraction is won't. As in, I won't tell anyone you touch the blocks. What are contractions with am, are, and is? It sure is cold outside. I am drinking hot cocoa. You can change I am to a contraction by combining the words, dropping the A, and adding an apostrophe. I'm drinking hot cocoa. You are eating warm soup. You can turn you are into a contraction. You're eating warm soup. Mia is making tea. This sentence can change to Mia's making tea. Hey, let's play in the snow. What are contractions that use have, has, and had? You have made one snowball. You can turn you have into a contraction. Combine the words, drop the letters H-A, and add an apostrophe to form you've. You've made one snowball. Hey. You should have ducked. You can change should have into a contraction. You should have ducked. You had better watch out. You had can form the contraction you'd. You'd better watch out. Hey, who threw that? Uh-oh. Mia has made a bunch of snowballs. You can turn Mia has into a contraction. Mia's made a bunch of snowballs. Some contractions look the same. Well, the contractions in these two sentences look similar, but they mean different things. She's on the phone. When you read a contraction, try breaking it apart. It doesn't make sense to say, she has on the phone. She is on the phone. There are a lot of blocks to set back up. Don't worry, Moby. You will do it in a snap. I can change you will to a contraction. You'll do it in a snap. Oops, it's important to proofread and make sure you put the apostrophe in the right place. Good job, Moby. Oh, I think you forgot one. I'd like to go home now.
So we have talked about contractions before, and we've practiced using different kinds of them before. We might have even seen that brain pop before. I can't always remember. But we are going to be looking at some words today, and then looking at some word cards that have the contractions on them. And we will try to match them up. So what we can see here are our words. He is, she will, you are, it will, I am, he will, it is, you will, I have, and she is. So I'm going to pick a card off the pile right here, and we'll read what's on it. So the first card has it apostrophe LL. It'll. It's a little bit weird. We don't use this one very often. But if you had to take a guess or pick which words go with this contraction, you might want to look for ones that start with the same beginning, it, and have the same ending, LL. Because usually in a contraction, we leave out the middle letters and put the apostrophe in their place. So when I'm looking for a word that's similar to this, I would probably choose it will. IT for it, and then LL at the end for will stays the same. We got rid of this WI and put an apostrophe in its place. So we formed the contraction it'll. Okay, let's pick another card. I've. I apostrophe VE. So where do we have words up here that start with I and end with VE? I see them down at the bottom here. I have starts with capital I and ends with VE. We got rid of those two letters, HA, and put an apostrophe in their place. So now we can make the contraction I've. It still means the same thing as I have. Okay, our next one, you'll, you, Y-O-U, apostrophe LL. So let's look at our words and see which ones have you at the beginning and or Y-O-U for the word you and LL at the end. There it is, you will. We kept Y-O-U and we kept LL, but we got rid of that WI and put an apostrophe in its place. So now we can make the contraction you'll. Means the same thing as you will. All right, let's get our next card. I'm. I apostrophe M. Which words start with I and end with the letter M? Here it is, I am. So let's get it in the right spot here. We kept the I and we kept the M, but we got rid of that A in the middle and put an apostrophe in its place. So now we have I'm, I apostrophe M. I'm means the same thing as I am. Our next one, she'll. S-H-E for she, apostrophe L-L. Let's find which words up here start with she and end with L-L. She will. Looks like it could be it. Let me try to reach it. We kept she, we kept the L-L, but we got rid of this part and put an apostrophe in its place. So now we can make she'll. She'll means the same thing as she will. Let's look at its. I-T apostrophe S. So where do we see I-T at the beginning and S at the end? Right here. It is. We kept the I-T for it. We kept the S at the end. We got rid of that I and put an apostrophe in its place. It's means it is. He'll, H-E for he, apostrophe, and L-L at the end. Where do we see a word that starts with he and ends with L-L? He will. We kept the he, we kept the L-L, but we got rid of that W-I and put an apostrophe there. He'll means the same thing as he will. You, apostrophe R-E, your. We're looking for words up here. You are. We have you. And then we have R-E at the end. We got rid of the A and put an apostrophe there. So we have the word your, which means you are. He's is my next card. H-E apostrophe S. So we're looking for two words that keep he, there it is, and has S at the end. He is, he's. So we're keeping H-E for he, we're keeping the S, but we got rid of that I and put an apostrophe in its place. He's means the same thing as he is. And our last one is she's. S-H-E for she, apostrophe S. Down here we have she is, starts with she, ends with S. So we kept the she, we kept the S, but we got rid of that I and put an apostrophe in its place, and it becomes she's. It means the same thing as she is. So when we talk about contractions, it means that we made one word out of two smaller words. When we squished them together to become one, we got rid of some letters. That apostrophe, or sometimes we call it the hook there that's up in the air, means that there used to be some letters there in that spot, and we got rid of them to make a different word. The word means the same thing as it used to when it was two words. When you are reading, if you break these apart into two words, the sentence should still make sense.